May 16, 2018. My name is Bill McCamley. I'm a state representative from Las Cruces and Mesilla. I'm also a candidate for New Mexico State Auditor, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about the things that I might be able to do as auditor to help with the healthcare situation here in New Mexico. The first is making sure we get rid of all the waste and abuse that we see in the healthcare system, because Medicaid dollars need to be stretched as far as they can. As many of you might know, 72% of babies in New Mexico are born into Medicaid. A lot of other people really rely on that service, and there is a real effort in the state to have a Medicaid buy-in program here where, if passed, it will give people a public option for health insurance in case private insurers don't want to be here or their prices go way up. So in order to make sure we have the dollars for this to go as far as they can, we got to make sure that there's the least amount of waste and abuse in the healthcare field possible. And as an example, just this last week, NPR did a story about a lady in Oklahoma who was charged $16,000, I believe, for 4 little screws that were used in her care. And so I want to dig deep and find out what's going on there and eliminate as much as that as possible so that our public dollars can take care of the most people possible, because people deserve health care. Secondly, I want to talk a little bit about the mental health situation. As many of you here in New Mexico know, Susana Martinez destroyed the mental health system here by, when she became governor, cutting contracts with all of the established employers, established programs that were in place, bringing in this Arizona company, this nonprofit, many of whose directors had given her a bunch of money for the campaign. They spent 2 years and pulled out because they weren't making a big enough profit. And though we've had some facilities like La Clinica here in Las Cruces try to make up for what was lost, it's been a tough row to hoe. And so I really want to use that office long term to say, okay, what are the best practices? How can we do mental health better here in the state to take care of these mental and behavioral health issues? We don't do that well here in America. We've got to try to do better, and I'd like to use that office to find other states that might be doing better, and how do we use our funding efficiently and effectively. I also really want to take some time. This isn't about the campaign, but this is about some decisions that the Trump administration has made regarding immigrants the last couple days. Just about 2 hours ago, he referred to immigrants coming here as animals. Yesterday, it was revealed that his administration is willing to rip families apart that are coming here and put children in military bases. Think about it, a bunch of kids surrounded by walls and fences and wire and troops with guns. This doesn't seem very different than internment camps that the United States has used at various times in our past. Y'all, we have to fight this. I can't tell you how angry this makes me. Earlier this year, I actually helped with some of these immigrants that were coming up from El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. I actually stayed in a shelter overnight to make sure that these folks could have some place to stay. And there was this kid, 14 years old. He didn't have anything. You know, he was fleeing these drug cartels in his hometown. And we hear the same story over and over again. These mothers, either our kids die, they get shot, or they get impressed into these drug gangs. And they're not animals, they're not barbarians, they're not coming here to do us any harm. They just want to live decent lives, just like the rest of us. And to dehumanize these folks by calling them animals, by threatening to put their children in internment camps after ripping them away from their families, is not right. That should not be the moral compass that this country bases itself off of, and we all need to fight it, because if they don't do it to you right now, they may do it to you later on. There was that very famous poem that Protestant priest wrote, who survived a Nazi death camp, where he said, they came for the Catholics and I did nothing, and they came for the Jews and I did nothing, and they came for the gay folks and I did nothing because I wasn't any of those, and when they came for me, there was no one to speak up. We have to speak up. We cannot allow this sort of thing to continue. We need to elect public officials that respect human dignity across the board, and we need to make sure that the folks that are in there now know that this shouldn't be acceptable. So I hope you join me in making sure that we fight this hate, we fight this anger, and we do things the right way. Thank you all very much.